Through enduring hardships, the tears of pain I shed today will be the tears of joy I shed tomorrow. I am Coach mjdtiger, certified life coach and mentor. Through passion and purpose, aiding those through the valleys, over the mountains, and conquering the volcanoes of life. While free, yet connected to everything, every place, and every person around us, we can obtain a life of freedom and wellness through passion and purpose. There is no end. You are here now. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. Do this every morning, throughout the day as needed, and every night before you close your eyes for sleep. Ask yourself, how are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? And all, how do you feel in your mind? How do you feel in your body? How do you feel in your heart? And how do you feel in your soul? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Take these next few moments of meditation in silence to answer those very questions. How are you feeling? Something to think about every day, every single day. Fear, mistrust in yourself, doubt, limited beliefs. These are things that you have to rid yourself of every single day. And it may have to be a reset button every single day. That reset button is trust. And that button is powered by self-love and self-respect you have for yourself. Everything that you fear, everything that you believe is holding you back, everything that you think is going wrong, there's always another way. There's always a different point. And sometimes we're going too fast. We got to slow down, sometimes even stop. The goal is just not to go backwards. It's to go forwards. We can only do that by trusting ourselves to know we can get over fear and obstacles, and limited beliefs, and the stories we tell ourselves each day that we can't do it. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. Yes, we do. That is something to think about every single day, every single moment. You do, you can, you will. There is no should. There is no try. Just do it. Be patient with yourself, love yourself, be grateful for what you have, and forgive yourself, and keep moving forward. You are stronger than what you are giving yourself credit for. Trust yourself. You are. Episode 11. You are trusting your intuition. One of the most difficult things I've ever had to deal with in my life as far as growing as an individual was learning how to trust myself in almost every single way a person could and should trust themselves. Even in the most simplest ways possible, just in order to function as a purposeful human being and citizen in the community around you, just on that basic level. Trust is everything. Without trust, we are a shell of what we could be, and no amount of purpose and passion could ever fill that void of the trust that is missing if you do not acquire it. And that is coming from someone who has battled and battled and battled, not even really realizing that I didn't trust myself. Trust is a funny thing. We believe we trust ourselves when in reality we believe that we're just making the right decisions, which is not the same thing. Anybody can make a decision without thinking. Anybody. It doesn't take much thought to think about what you're going to do and then doing it. The trust aspect comes in where you detach and you look inwards at your intuition. And the only way that works is you have to have some sort of foundation and framework of what and who you are. What are you? Are you a person who is in column A under your description, which again, everybody has a different life. So someone's column A is not going to be the same as someone else's column A, but we have these columns. We have these rooms. We have all these things inside of us that are separating certain traits and attributes, values and morals and principles, things I talk about all the time on The Brave Never Fall. Where does trust lie within every single one of those rooms and all those columns of the different aspects of us that make up the framework of our DNA? I say reduce it back down to an atom. We are built molecule by molecule. We are a part of everything around us, but we are so unique, so individual, so complex, yet so simple at the same time. Makes for a very interesting way to deal with someone when you know you're dealing with someone who trusts himself versus with someone who does not. And the lines between those two versions of a person can be very, very blurred. Because how do we honestly know if someone says, I trust myself? We have to trust ourselves to trust that they trust themselves. Funny how that works. We have to trust ourselves to trust that other people trust themselves. It's kind of a conundrum. The more you think about it, it almost is ludicrous to think that we should trust anyone when you say it like that. But the reality of it is, does it really matter if these people trust themselves as long as you trust yourself? Because we can ask that question a different way. What if we ask ourselves, can we trust these people to trust themselves if we don't trust ourselves at all? Suddenly that takes on a very different framework. How can we trust anyone to trust themselves if we don't trust ourselves? Lines blurred. Not so much like plaid. The thing we have to remember is that if we can trust ourselves fully and really know what that means, really understand and identify what intuition means, if we can figure that out, then we can identify very clearly and very easily if someone else trusts themselves. It becomes second nature. If somebody holds up an apple to you, it's going to be kind of hard to convince yourself that it's anything else other than an apple. No matter how much the person holding the apple may try to convince you that it's a lime. It's not a lime. It is indeed, in fact, in reality, an apple. And if we can deal with that sort of thing, that's what life is all about. We can be told all kinds of things. That doesn't necessarily mean those things are true. But we can't control what people tell us. All we can do is focus in all seriousness on ourselves, but not take ourselves too seriously. Part of having trust in yourself is that you're able to free yourself of the restraints of taking yourself too seriously. You're able to open up and see the world for what it really is with true clarity. Because you don't have to worry about anymore everything coming at you and harming you. People muster up strength every day to face the unknown. The true strength is coming from the fact that you have the strength to muster it in the first place. There's so many people out there who say, I'm too weak. So did you wake up this morning? Yeah. Did you give up? No. Then you're not weak. You're stronger than you are giving yourself credit for. Problem is you don't trust yourself. I had to learn through my mentors, my coaches, people that I hold dear in my heart who've taught me a lot, people who have come and gone of all walks of life. That message has always been there as far as back as I can remember, going all the way into elementary school. I can remember the common theme for me was, you don't trust yourself. And I would take that thought and not even think about it again because I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was a hollow criticism. So how can I possibly, of course I trust myself. You don't know me. And as I got older, I realized all of the things that I used to deal with that were struggles in my life, whether it was financially, in relationships. I used to think that I could not do well in testing, that I couldn't do well in school, that I wasn't the best musician, I wasn't the best writer, I wasn't the best filmmaker, I wasn't the best artist. I used to do all these different things, and everyone used to say, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. I don't want to be the master of anything. I do what I want to do the best I possibly can. And if it's not good enough, then that's too damn bad for anyone else who is trying to judge me on it. But if I am even 10% talented in any of those areas I just said, why not continue in them and get those percentages up as high as I can? I'd rather have 10% drawing talent than 0%. How can having a percentage of any of those categories be a detriment? It cannot be. Someone else's perception. We have to trust ourselves to know that it really doesn't matter what people think. What matters is what we can do with that powerful intuition that we have, that we don't often listen to far too often. That doesn't mean that our intuition is always going to lead us to the best decisions. In fact, a lot of my lessons came from me thinking I knew exactly what I wanted, and the complete opposite happened. And I was able to go back, retrofit, disassemble that decision and say, where did I go wrong? And then I can course correct. And I would say, okay, well, if this scenario ever comes up again, I can trust myself. I got this. Yeah, I failed before, but this is a world of second chances if you want it. We all get second chances at a lot of things. We are allowed to fail at a lot of things. You name it, we're allowed to fail. Now, there is an ultimate end. You jump off a mountain without a parachute, you're not getting a second chance. But that has nothing to do with trust and intuition. That was just a decision made at a moment where, hey, impulse control issues, right? Trusting your intuition is going to get you further than anybody who doesn't, for this reason alone. You don't require other people's input for you to make your decision. They can give you all the knowledge and wisdom and advice, but ultimately you have to make the decision. And really, no one can actually make any of those really deep decisions for you but you. This is why people at a young age get so frustrated with their parents when they want to pick a college, or they want to pick a profession, or they want to pick a car or something, because the parents always know what's best for you. And the young adult is saying, hey, you don't really know me as much as you think. I know you think I want to do this, but I actually want to do this. So there's a conflict there, because there's people who want the best for you, but you want the best for you as well. And your intuition is telling you, hey, I need to go this way. And there's obviously nothing wrong with that. But we also have to make sure that our intuition doesn't interfere with other people's lives in a negative way. And that is where intuition and trust becomes a very serious matter. And that's when we do have to take ourselves a little bit more seriously, because once our intuition, if we're just blindly making these decisions and moving forward in a way where if it's just us involved and only the consequences of our actions and our intuition are going to come back on us, we fail to forget that there's a ripple effect. There's a butterfly effect where even your best intentions, even if you make the best decision possible, somebody else is always going to be influenced and affected by your decision. Which is why trusting our intuition is, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the people who I have talked to and the coaches and the people I've confided in have told me, is that intuition is one of the biggest responsibilities we have as an individual. The trust. If you don't trust yourself to function and act properly in the right situations, you could change your life forever. And over what? A lack of vigilance and diligence and discipline and self-control over your impulses. Emotion added in and sprinkled in to that trust and intuition can be combustible. Because the moment you add emotion in, it's like a storm cloud coming in on a clear day when you weren't expecting it. And it starts raining. You get stuck out there. You don't have a raincoat on. You don't have an umbrella. You can see that it's just a cloud. It's going to pass. So you feel good about it. You don't do anything. You just stand there. Yeah, this will pass. I know this isn't good, but I'm just going to stand here. The next day, you think that same cloud is going to come by and just pass over you. And this time, it's a bigger storm. The rain is a little heavier. Maybe add some hail and some lightning, some thunder. But it passes. You say, wow, this is interesting. This is twice in a row. Like it got dark here. I'm starting to trust myself. I think I can get through these dark moments without, preparing myself. What we talked about in the previous episode, equipping ourselves for the unexpected. Third day comes by and a tornado lifts you up, and that's it. That's the end of your story. Yes, you were brave. Yes, you were courageous. Yes, you stood in the face of danger, but you didn't dive deep enough into your intuition. Your intuition didn't even kick in. You were so blinded by false confidence that you believed that you would be able to survive any storm. But the first storm was small and something that's insignificant. The major storms will end pathways, end friendships, end relationships. There's a huge responsibility there. One that no one who even remotely or dares consider themselves to say that they trust themselves fully would take lightly. It's not a joke. It's not a game. I tell people this all the time, and this is something I could not tell someone if I didn't believe it myself. If you're going to trust yourself, know yourself. And if you know yourself, trust yourself. Because if you don't, you're at war with yourself. And that goes back to the episode we were just talking about with the heroes versus the villains. Now you're just being influenced by your demons and your villains inside of you. You believe you trust yourself, but it's not trust. It's you not having the proper pieces in place to even form any semblance of framework of trust within you if you don't know who you are. If you're not content and happy with the place that you're at within yourself. If you're not balanced enough with your mind, body, heart, and soul, there's no purpose, there's no passion. You're creating your own failures, and the successes you have, you're sabotaging those. It's all part of the game of mistrust within yourself. You're not playing by your own rules. You're not functioning at the highest capacity that you could. You're just getting by. You're thinking that storm cloud is just as small as it was yesterday, without even realizing a tornado is coming very soon. And any storm will pass in time, but what's the damage that's done while you endured that storm? Trust prevents us from getting stuck in the storm. We may be unexpectedly taken aback by it because it just popped up out of nowhere. But a person who trusts themselves knows they were prepared for the storm even though they didn't know it was coming. They were able to adapt, find purpose, and endure and thrive and move on and learn. Next time I see a small storm cloud, that may be indication that a bigger one's coming later. That is true trust in yourself. And without that trust, again, we are just shells of what we potentially could be if we focused on it. Detachment within yourself in moments like that where things may happen and you're put on the spot, you have to trust yourself that you can get through it. You may find yourself in a communication back and forth with someone, and it's imperative you remember that you're a good communicator, because it's easy to get thrown off in life. You know, people, places, and things can throw us off very easily if we don't trust ourselves. But the goal is to retreat back into who you are. And if you know who you are, then you trust yourself to say, I got this. Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but I got this. I'm in control. I'm in control. Because I know who I am. And if I know who I am, I know I can trust myself. And when you start to feel like you are going back and forth, something doesn't feel right, that's what detachment's for. And let's say you do that and you make the wrong decision. That's what the after action report's for. You go back and you look at what you did right, what you did wrong at certain moments when you felt like your trust in yourself was getting a little bit torn. It's getting a little bit pulled apart. There were some cracks in there. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You can identify in real time through detachment and understanding who you are. I want this from myself. This particular situation did not go how I planned. Yes, it was unexpected, but I should have been more prepared. This surprised me. I wasn't ready. And that can be through anything that we do in life. It can be just a simple new task at work. It can be just visiting a new church. It could be talking to a new person. It could be through the highest times in your life where you got all this money and now you gotta figure out what to do with it. It could be the lowest times where you're just losing your house and you gotta file for bankruptcy. These are all realities. These are all things that happen to us. These are all things that we have to deal with. And if we don't trust ourselves that we can get through all these different scenarios, no matter how good, bad, or ugly, if these are things that we feel we cannot deal with, it affects everything around us that we want to be a part of our lives. Because if we can't trust ourselves, no one around us can trust us. And it's very evident when someone cannot trust themselves. When they second guess themselves to death, when they procrastinate, they make excuses, they blame other people. It takes the pressure off. I can't be trusted, so neither can you. Look what he did. Look what she did. Look what she didn't do. Look what he didn't do. It's very easy to do that when we are looking and scraping for excuses when we can't get something done ourselves. But in reality is, after all the excuses go away, you're still the same person standing there with a lack of trust in yourself. The only way to build trust in yourself is that you have to start getting started on trusting yourself. You have to love yourself and respect yourself and have enough self-control to know that, hey, this isn't easy. Trusting myself is not damn easy. But hell, I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my best effort, because the alternative is to not to try at all. There's nothing there. I already saw what that does. Me not trusting myself got me in serious trouble. Made me lose this relationship. Made me lose this job. Made me lose whatever it is that I feel is essential in my life. I wasn't strong enough through my own lack of trust in myself to keep, obtain, and maintain the things in my life that I hold most dear. And not only that, the people around me who love me and look up to me and who I'm supposed to be leading, have obligations for, they see it too. And now here I am. I can either make more excuses, or I can figure out what it is I need to do to trust myself. What it is I need to do to gain more confidence. What it is I need to do to maintain my purpose and my passion without it being obstructed with the notion that I couldn't trust myself. I don't need a crack in my purpose and my passion of mistrust. That's what we should be telling ourselves every day, those affirmations. I am worthy. I am strong. I am smart. I am intelligent. I do make the right decisions. And if they're not, I'm going to correct them. I did forgive this person. I did jettison this person who was toxic in my life. I did all these things because I know myself and I know what I want. And I'm using my intuition and my trust for good. I'm going to align with the people, places, and things that bring me joy, peace, and simplicity. People, places, and things that I identify with, because I know what I want and I know who I am. That's what trusting yourself is all about. Sometimes that trust in ourselves can lead to a dark alleyway, because we believe once we acquire all the trust in ourselves that everyone around us trust themselves and are putting the effort in to try to trust themselves the same way. And unfortunately, that is not the reality. If your mind goes to that, that would be a fantasy. Not everyone around you is trying to be as vigilant and persistent and disciplined with their trust within themselves and their self-respect and self-love. Some people are just trying to get by. They're just trying to manipulate and control, and they're selfish and they're narcissistic and toxic, and that is their road. That's their path. We don't have to conform to that. We don't have to be stripped from our character because other people are miserable. We don't have to be stripped from our character because other people are failing in life and not owning up to their failures and why it is they're failing. We have enough failures to deal with on our own. We have enough bad experiences and bad memories to deal with on our own to care about what other people are failing at if they're not putting the effort into themselves and investing in themselves enough, but screaming from the rooftops, please, everyone invest in me, without giving anything back in return. Not a single shred of effort. That's not us. We trust ourselves. We lead with intuition. And the intuition will get us where we need to be because we have self-control and our energy is positive. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.